Hi, it's Dr. Laura Grace, and I'm back to share with you another video on dream time. And my whole goal and intention with these videos and all the work that I do around dreams is to make your dreams relatable. I mean, understandable. So you see clearly in dream time, as confusing as dreams may be, exactly how they pertain to your waking life because they're informing every single area. They're obviously informing your inner world and what's going on, and what psyche's bringing to you using certain dream images and metaphor. They're informing, though, your relationships and people you're currently in relationship with and what's going on there and whether or not you're really showing up, or even like things as deep as like attachment issues and what's happening there. It shows issues or areas that you need to look at regarding money, and your relationship with money and your finances and your work in the world, or whatever it is that you do with the majority of time during the day. They're informing the health of your body. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. So my job and what I love to do, and I'm very passionate about this, is to help you make sense of your dreams, because they are, again, just oozing. I've said this many, many times. They are gold mines of information. All right. So we're going to cover another common dream theme today. Last time I talked about teeth falling out, what's going on there with language and the power of words. And today we're going to cover a topic that I know many, if not all of you, can relate to, and that is taking a test, taking an exam, trying to find a school, trying to find a classroom, trying to find a locker, trying to find a backpack, being in the classroom, feeling, not ready to take the exam. Like maybe, you're supposed to cram last night, but you didn't. You stayed up late doing something else, like partying, or you just put it aside and you forgot about it. This is a very common dream that we have. And I used to have these dreams all the time. I haven't had one in a long time, but I used to have them a lot. And often what would happen is I've been to school in many different occasions. I've gone to school, obviously, like we've all gone to school, up through high school to graduate. And then I went to college for my undergraduate work at the University of Michigan. And then I did graduate work, my doctoral program in depth psychology in California. So academia is familiar to me. And I used to have a lot of dreams about being back in high school or college, my undergraduate work, and not being ready to take a class. And psyche has a way, when you are dreaming about something that goes back in the past, that could be a house that you used to live in a long time ago, or a school that you used to attend. It's not an accident. No dream image is just showing up for no reason in dream time. There are no accidents that way. Dreams are bridging when something from the past is coming up. What the dream is telling you, it's bridging your present life with something that happened in the past, like an experience that you had and how you felt, but now it's showing up in current life. All right. So what would happen is in actual waking life, when I went to high school, it was a very unfulfilling and actually bleak time in my life. At home, it wasn't going well, with issues with my parents and their problems and what my siblings were going through. There was a lot of chaos in my house at times. And I didn't find high school a getaway. I found it actually even more depressing because I didn't do well with cliques. I have never done well with trying to conform. I have often felt like I don't fit in those kind of situations and groups and peer pressure. And so I was a loner, and often if you knew me back then, I pretty much had my nose in a book. And I would escape through reading. I loved reading. And so I often wasn't present, metaphorically speaking, in high school, but I wasn't present also literally speaking, especially in my junior and senior years. I didn't find fulfillment in high school. That whole scene just did not work for me. And so what I wanted to do was I became an overachiever during that time, and I wanted to make up for the mess that was going on in the home front with the family, and I wanted to get going with my life and get moving with my life and start making things happen. So I became very driven and motivated. And what I wanted to do rather than go to school, I wanted to go to work, and I wanted to start making money for myself, and I wanted to become independent, and I wanted to break away from, I mean, this sounds familiar, I'm sure, to many of you, to make up for what was going on. And I wanted to be different, right, than the family that I was in. So I didn't attend school a lot. I skipped classes a lot. I worked 2 jobs when I was a senior in high school, and I only really had to take classes for the first couple hours in the morning, and then I could shoot out of there and go to work. But often I just wouldn't go at all. I just wanted to get ready and go to work. So what would happen was, obviously, I was missing classes, and although my grades were okay, I wasn't accumulating the credit hours that I needed as I entered my senior year to have enough to graduate with. And that became very clear and became horrifying to me, because here I am now becoming this overachiever because of what's going on in my family situation, and I don't have enough credits. So thank God, a counselor during that time, her first name was Carol, took me aside and said, you know what? I know you're having a tough time at home, but you see, I wasn't going to go there with her. I'm just, okay, whatever. And she said, and I believe in you, and I want to help you do everything you can to make up these classes and get the credits that you need to graduate. And thank God she did, because then I got into a very good school, an undergraduate school. But when dreams show up about me having to take an exam and not feeling ready, and the dream shows up as high school, I know then that I really need to pay attention, because then I'm not showing up for whatever is meeting me, whatever's in front of me, whatever I need to be prepared for. These are performance dreams. Taking an exam, taking a test are performance related dreams. So I don't have these dreams anymore. I've been doing a lot of inner work over the years, and working very heavily with my dreams for a long time. So these dreams no longer show up, but I know they do for many of you, and they could be quite anxiety ridden. I remember I would wake up from those dreams and think, oh my gosh, didn't I thought I finished, I thought I finished my undergraduate work. Didn't I get my degree? I think, oh gosh, yes, you did, because, and then you went into your doctoral program, but dreams can feel so real, we can wake up in a panic. So I'm not saying that you had to go through anything what I went through back in high school or college to have these dreams. These dreams show up for all kinds of people, and they're showing up for something that you are being faced with in your current waking life that you're not feeling prepared for. So what is it? Is it you're a parent and your kids are having some special requirements right now, maybe some special needs that you feel like you have to meet, and you're not feeling that you have the energy for it? Is it in your work life? Are you being asked to take on more responsibility, or are you going to be doing something different in your work life? I remember these dreams used to show up for me a lot when I would be getting ready to speak. I've done a lot of public speaking. I love public speaking, but no matter what, and even though I was good at it, I always got anxiety and those butterflies or anxiety days before the speaking engagement at times. But you know what? That's not always when these dreams would show up. Actually, they showed up more, and I'm thinking back, when I would feel ready for the public speaking. Maybe I was presenting at my spiritual center on an important topic, or I was speaking somewhere in the community to a large group. They would often show up because I really wasn't as well prepared as I could have been. So see, these dreams are always a gift. They're always a gift from Psyche. The unconscious is just giving you a heads up. You've got this coming down the pike, something you need to be ready for, and you're not quite prepared, perhaps, as you could be. I had a woman recently share with me that she was a public speaker for a corporation now, different kind of setting. And she was speaking to large groups of people around the country, and she was good at it. But she liked to have red wine at night. So like many people do in our culture, we're taught that, wine or some kind of alcohol in the evening will relax us. It's not really true. It feels like it does for about the first 20 minutes, and then the brain goes into all kinds of different flip-flops to try to keep up with the depressant, so it creates stimulants. So it doesn't really relax us, but that's a whole other topic. We'll talk about alcohol and drugs in another video. But anyway, she said she would use wine at night to relax. And then as, being out there as a public speaker, she thought, you know what, maybe she could help bring the anxiety down by having some wine, maybe a half a glass even before she spoke. So she's at these large, conventions speaking. She'd go into the bar at the hotel. She'd have, a little bit of wine, and she'd feel really relaxed. And she thought, oh, and then public speaking became that much more enjoyable for her. However, she has been really good about handing out questionnaires at the end of her speaking engagement, asking for feedback, right? That's what a good speaker does. And for years, people would tell her before having the wine, before she spoke, oh, you do a great job, and you're so articulate, and you really connect with the audience, and you're just so on. You're just so spot on. Well, then she noticed when she began having the wine before the speaking, she'd get the questionnaires back. And over time, she began to notice a few people who were really honest, like, you've always been wonderful as a speaker, and you're always, what you say makes so much sense, and you're inspiring. But it seems like you're not on as much as you used to be. Like you've lost your edge, or that sharpness. It just isn't there like it used to be. And she thought, okay, what the heck? And she traced it back to having the wine. And she knew intuitively even before that probably having the wine before she spoke was going to dull her senses in some way, shape, or form. So even though she thought she was performing better, her performance was actually slipping. So these dreams show up because we're not prepared, because we're really not as prepared and functioning as high as we could be. Or two, we really are prepared. You've done the inner check. Have I done everything I possibly can in this situation to bring the best of me to the table, to meet whatever is there asking me to show up? If you could say confidently yes to that question, then the other reason this dream may be showing up for you is just because of a very old tape where you've been taught, or you have believed about yourself. You have just taken this programming in deeply, and it's a neural pathway that we're developing in our brain with the thought system and the behavior, right? We build these grooves that become very familiar to us. And now your inner voice says, not good enough. No matter how much you prepare, how much you're ready, you're still not going to be good enough. So it's like, not good enough tape, that voice that we need to take a look at. And we need to lovingly dismantle it and build new neural pathways in the brain with thoughts and affirmations and actions that are all congruent, that are going to build and blaze a whole new great groove in the brain that's going to be much more uplifting for us, right? Much more in line with who we are. And so that's why dreams like this show up. You're either not feeling ready because you're really not ready, or you really are ready, but you have this ingrained belief that it's never going to be enough. All right, and that's up for you to figure out which one of those tapes are going on when these dreams show up. So what I want to leave you with is that, as women, we have been programmed to think that we're not good enough in so many different areas. And I'm bringing up the drinking because that not good enough tape can easily lead us to pick up that glass of wine, right? Or that, that vodka cocktail or mojito or whatever it is that you like. And women drinking, I'm bringing this up because the rise of women drinking right now is at an all-time high. I mean, it's at an all-time high. And I think a lot of it's because we're feeling so much pressure and stress on being good enough. So what I want to leave you with is that the image of who you think you are may struggle with her self-perception, may struggle with overcoming challenges. You may think that you're not prepared to handle this challenge, whatever it is in your life. But the truth of who you are can. I am currently going through a situation with someone in my life who I care about very much, and she's going through a very very difficult time, hitting a real low in her life, the lowest low I've ever seen this person hit. So I know she's in incredible pain. And in the past, so this is my challenge. This is what's meeting me here. And the question is, am I showing up for it, or do I want to escape and somehow numb out? Whether that would be through, in the old days, wine, or could be working excessively. It could be food. I've got a tendency toward dark chocolate, sweets in the evening anyway. So in the old days, just even a few years ago, this situation and the pain that I have experienced around the pain that this person's experiencing, and the fears that have come up for me, and the worry and the concern, there was a time where I would not have felt ready, really deeply ready, emotionally and physically, with my health and my energy and my intellect. I wouldn't have felt psychologically as prepared to handle this situation the way I am now, because this is a real doozy of a situation. But with all the inner work and with working with my dreams, I mean, day in and day out, spiritually, I'm not a religious person, but I'm very spiritually acclimated, has helped me so much in ways that I can't even, I feel even right now, I just get teared up thinking about how much gratitude I have for the work I've done with my dreams and how much that has paid off to help me be at this place in my life, to feel this prepared to handle everything that's showing up. And I don't need to escape anymore. I don't need to get busy and numb out or whatever that was about, dealing with my pain as I did in the past, right? I could show up, and you can too. So sometimes what we have to do when these dreams are showing up is really deeply do an honest inventory about the images, the perceptions that we're holding about ourselves that are not true. They're not really true about who we are and who we're becoming, right? So I hope that this video on this very common dream theme, on taking the test, is helping you feel more prepared to show up and embrace your life. Namaste. Thank you for joining me.